Call the Board of Public Works meeting of Monday, January 18th to order. Number 2, approval of minutes of January 4. Motion by Mr. Fisher, second by Mr. Fire. Comments, questions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Citizens' comments, Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, I just want to take this moment to recognize the street department. A constituent of mine called me and wanted me to convey that they thought this was one of the best years that they've seen the street department do road work. And so they just asked me to convey that. So I wanted to recognize the street department and let you guys know that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, number 4, approval of task order number 21-01 to Sprand Associates Incorporated for construction engineering services on the Mandeville lift station replacement project. Presented by Sam Warp, Wastewater Superintendent. Sam.
Thank you. The Mandeville lift station is located out on Highway 13 and Man Road. It's our oldest lift station, went into service in 1979. About a year ago, we went out for an RFP to hire a consultant to design the lift station, and that was awarded to Sprand Associates. And then went out for bids this fall, and we opened bids on December 1st for the contractor, and we picked Haas and Sons, and they were approved at the Board of Public Works meeting 1 month ago. And during that time, since then, Sprand and Haas have been working to get all the contracts drafted and signed and sent back, all the bid documents. And the next phase will be the construction phase. And in the original RFP, we had the ability for whoever landed that contract to assume the construction phase also, but that was only contingent on satisfactorily completing the first phases. Staff feels Sprand has done a very good job. They saved us money on a couple different avenues already. So we'd like to retain their services for the construction phase as well. So we asked for a task order from them, and they gave us an estimate on the very high side and what it would cost. They basically put in there if we really ran into a lot of weather problems and the contractor had a lot of difficulties, because a lot of this is going to be on-site inspection. So both sides expect the task order will be much less than that, but the way they drew it up just to be safe. So wastewater staff would recommend accepting the task order estimate number 20-05 from Sprand Associates of $57,500 for the construction services of the Mandeville lift station.
Motion, Mr. Bargander. Second, Mr. Fisher. Questions? Mr. Bargander.
Thank you, Chair. You said that their estimate of $57,500 was on the high side. I guess the only question I really have is, why didn't they give you a price range? What would be the normal price? And if it went to everything went bad, this would be the price.
Usually what we like to see is a breakdown of what an engineer costs, an inspector costs, a senior engineer, and then estimate how many hours. And Sprand hasn't done any work for the wastewater division in quite a few years, and they didn't realize it, so they just sent this in, and we kind of wanted to get going for the next phase. So we would probably like to see more of a breakdown ourselves, and we will when the bill comes, but.
I know we're approving $57,500. They could bill you $57,500. I'm not saying they would, okay? But, I mean, we are authorizing up to that amount of money, so.
I think in the future, they know our feelings already that we would like something more itemized in the estimate too, so.
Sure.
Mr. Turchi.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Turchi first.
Just FYI, they would have to submit personal time and hours, and there are billing rates that we have with the next project that we're going to talk about. But yeah, it would be probably most likely a contract not to exceed.
Mr. Bargander, did you have anything? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you. I was actually going to say something very similar to Alderman Bargander. I'm going to support this, and that's why I second the motion. But I would, and I heard you say this, and I appreciate it. I would just like in the future that when people are doing this, we get a more accurate, even if it's a range. But I was uncomfortable when I heard you say this is the high end. I would like something more accurate in the future. But I'm going to vote for this, so thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Number 5, approval of consultant section for citywide stormwater management plan, TMDL analysis and recommendations presented by Tom Turchi, city engineer. Tom.
All right, in November of 2020, the Board of Public Works approved a request for proposals for consultant services for the citywide stormwater management plan, TMDL analysis and recommendations. If you don't know what TMDL is, it's a total maximum daily load of phosphorus. The city received a DNR stormwater grant in the amount of $49,970 for this project in 2019, which covers 50% of the overall project cost. The RFP was distributed on December 8th, and 3 proposals were received. All 3 proposals were from qualified firms who have worked for the city in the past. We had one from Sprand and Associates, MSA, Professional Services, and AECOM. The selection criteria included understanding technical approach, project schedule, experience of the project team, and cost. Engineering division staff has reviewed the proposals and are recommending Sprand and Associates. We included a few of the Sprand proposal pages for your review in this memo. Therefore, I'd recommend approval of the proposal from Sprand and Associates for engineering services for citywide stormwater management plan, TMDL analysis and recommendations in the amount not to exceed $99,940 and authorize an execution of an agreement. Are there any questions?
It's a motion. Motion by Mr. Rosendit. Second by Mr. Fire. Questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion carries. Number 6, recommended items for future agendas. Mr. Fire.
I've got it. I want somebody to address the garbage cans. People are putting them outside the curb. And I noticed when they went through the first plowing, they were doing this to go around the garbage cans. Is there something we can put out that they got to at least put them in their driveway and stay away from the curb? And is there damage? The other question is if it gets damaged, is it their fault or is it our fault?
Yeah, Mr. Fire, there is protocols of where they can be placed and how long they can be out there the night before, and they have to be picked up at a certain time. And we've been looking into that, but we can give a report back to you on that.
Okay, anybody else? Motion to adjourn by Mr. Rosendich, second by Mr. Fire. Thank you, we are adjourned.